Sup peeps, my name's Ian, I sell books on eBay. It's a wee bit later in the day than usual putting this video together, so I'm going to have quite a quick run through of just what has sold. Got a wee shout out to do, so you know who you are, we'll get to you shortly. But first, let's just have a look at the orders that have gone. So, in every particular order, I don't have them stacked in the right order, so I'm having to work them out as I go. We've got a little bundle of Mills and Boons, and that was 6 of them. So a pre-made bundle, sold for £9.99. So that wasn't too bad, and that was at 12:25 in the morning. So the day began early. Then we had, oh, everything's just in the wrong order, so let's not go through them in the right order, let's just go through them in the order that I can pick them up. We've got a bundle of Eleanor M. Brent Dyer vintage paperbacks. So when I see a stack of books by the same author, I'm going to pick them up no matter what they are, just to see if there's something that sell. On their own, £2, £3, £4 possibly, but a nice wee stack of these in really good condition considering the age of them, and they sold for £23.99, so that was nice. Eleanor M. Brent Dyer vintage. Peggy of the Shalley School, the Shalley School triplets, the Shalley School in Richenda, the wrong Shalley School, the feud in the Shalley School, a problem for the Shalley School. Shalley, Shallet, it's one of those words, I say it too often, it stops making sense in my head. So £23.99 for that was very nice. Then we've got, let's use these ones next. We've got Artemis Fowl and Artemis Fowl by Ian Colfer, sold for £9.29 for the two of them. So a couple of nice little books, Artemis Fowl and the Arctic Incident. So yeah, £9.29 for those two, a nice little kick. Then we have The Last Wolf and Herman by Laszlo Krasznahorki. I have no idea if I've pronounced any of that correctly. I'm pretty sure that that word is last, the rest of it, who knows. Winner of the Man Booker International Prize, so prize winning literature, always sells well. That went for £6.99. Heading off to James. Right, what have we got next? Let's go to this one. Ellie Griffith. Ellie Griffith. Sold a couple of these bundles of this lady's books. This was 2 hardcovers and 3 paperbacks, and that went for £14.99. So a wee bit more than I would usually sell 5 kind of thriller books for, but because the hardcovers, the postage is up, so that makes it a bit more expensive. So 15 squids, £14.99. Next, we've got a bundle of Martina Cole. So Martina has been selling very, very well. She just keeps going, but unfortunately, every single time it's an over 2 kilo bundle, so not making a huge amount of money in these as they go. But £12.99, you know, I like a tenner for a bundle, so I got £3 more, and the postage is going to be £3 more, so it still works out not bad for 5 paperbacks. Quite happy. I'm happy. Right, next, I found this the other day. I sold a few of them last year when Matthew Perry died. Obviously his book became quite popular, and I had a couple of copies of it, and they sold. Look, some people out there listening for big money, but £10.89 for Friends, Lovers and The Big Terrible Thing. So it's still selling. Only had it up a couple of days and it went pretty quickly indeed. So £10.89 for the Matthew Perry memoir. And finally, again, I showed you this just the other day when I picked it up, Mr. Men box set, 48 books, really good condition. I was in the shop, they had it sat ready to go out, and says, how much do you want for that? and he gave us it for £2, which surprised me because I would have paid more, but £2 for that one, and it sold for 25. So again, a nice wee turnaround on that. So what does that all add up to? Now, I've got other sales that have come in during the day today, but I'll be catching up on them tomorrow morning, so trying not to count anything that I shouldn't. But what have we got? 17, 30, 45, 56, 60, 80, 105, £115. So not fantastic. I'm sticking, with going with eBay's thing for a couple of weeks though. What their recommended promotion rates, and see how that pans out. But it does mean that yesterday, the 12th, total sales for kind of midnight to midnight were £125. That's not too far different from kind of 11 till 11 in the morning till 11 the next morning type setup that I tend to share with you guys. Only spent £4 on books yesterday, so that was good. And listed 454, so managing to keep the momentum going in that. The aim being list 400 a day, try and get to 200 a day in sales, and my spending budget is £35 a day, which should allow us to keep up the listing values as I keep going along. So that's working so far, my wee momentum sheet. Cheers, Shed Flips. And yeah, £115, third to eBay, third to Royal Mail, and a third in profit. So there are a couple of questions about fees. What fees am I paying after the video I put up the other day? So the way the fees work out, typically a promoted listing is going to be about 15% plus about 12% that eBay take as standard plus their 30p. So that's where my kind of 30% to eBay comes from. It's all of that. Some promoted listings are a wee bit higher than that, some are a wee bit less, but that's a kind of fair average in the middle. So yeah, eBay take a third, eBay get a third. I give eBay a third, and to be honest, I'm quite happy to do that. I used to be in retail for a long time ago, but for a number of years, and the profits in retail were way less than 30%. You might worked in a watch repair shop actually. So I've sold a watch for £100. It's all new stock, so maybe had to pay £50 for it. But then you've got your store rent, staff wages. If you've got a shop retail wise, then if you're open 9 till 5, in the shopping centre we were in, it was longer than that, and it was 7 days a week. So you had to be paying staff every single day to be in that shop. Then all your other overheads that come in there, and the profit that the owner was walking away with was probably between 10 and 15%, of all of that revenue coming through, and that would have been on a good day. So that was in a big shopping centre in Glasgow city centre. So you're paying for high footfall, all the rest of it, but still the business owner, who would be working 12 hours a day because he had 3 or 4 stores across Scotland, working 7 days a week, putting a lot of hours in, and he's taking away 10 to 15% of that overall profit. So getting 30% in profit is better. So even though you're paying eBay a lot of money, you're hopefully actually getting quite good value for that money. It hurts because you see, oh, I've made a sale for £30. Oh, I've only got 20 because eBay have taken a third. But if you were in another business where you had like that kind of physical presence, then you would be paying it out in all sorts of other ways rather than paying it to, an online platform such as eBay. So yeah, it can feel harsh, but considering the profits you can make, it's not too bad. And if you're buying stuff for a couple of quid and selling it for £50, you're flipping all sorts of stuff, then even though eBay are still taking that third, you're going to make a lot more than a third profit because your postage costs will be much, much less. Because I sell stuff for like a tenner, it costs £3.30 to post. So that's the third. But if I was selling everything for 20 quid, then it would be a third to eBay and a sixth to postage, and that would leave me with a third and a sixth. So I would, you know, if you've got bigger sales, obviously you can make a greater level of profit on all of those things. So a third's not bad. It's not something to be sniffed at, I don't think. And if you need to pay a third to eBay to get that, as long as you've got the stock and you can get the stock, then why not? Got to make money. You know, it's got to be worth your while time wise. But as you don't have a shop or somewhere that you have to be to do it, you can kind of pick and choose the hours you work every day as well. So, you know, if it suits you to do it late at night, you can do that. If you want to spend 10 hours every day sourcing and listing and doing all of these things, then you will make a lot more money. It'll take time to get that momentum going, but you will make more money. And that all leads me on to another thing that I got asked. VAT, right? So I've mentioned a couple of times, I'm VAT registered. I'm not going to try and go into the details of how you do that, why you should do that and all of these things, because I am not any kind of accountant expert whatsoever. You can look stuff up on HMRC website, gov.uk. You can speak to an accountant, you know, take advice from professionals on whether or not you should get registered for VAT and all the things you have to do to get registered, and once you are registered, etc. But the reason, I've spoken about this before, but the reasons I got registered for VAT initially were the VAT threshold is about £86,000, I think, at the moment. So once you have revenue coming in which exceeds £86,000, you need to pay VAT on it. That's a given. My previous experience in small businesses was that you were lucky to make 10 to 20% profit on your total revenue coming in, which means that if I stayed below the VAT threshold at £80,000, say, then that would maybe mean that I've got a potential earning annually of £20,000, and that's just not enough. You know, I quit a job that paid multiples of that, so what I was looking for is something that would enable me to earn more. So there was no point aiming to stay below the VAT threshold. Even if I could take 50% of that in profit, it's still not going to be nice, but not where I needed it to be. So I get registered for VAT right at the outset, because that means that I can sell as much as I like, and although I'll be paying eBay fees and the VAT man and all these other things, then I can have more profit. So instead of being limited to £80,000 in sales, I do £1 million in sales. You know, I'm not going to, but that's kind of where it would sit. A secondary benefit of it after the fact was when I moved to moving a lot of these books. Books are, you don't pay VAT when you sell a book. They're zero rated. There's a few exceptions within books, so that's what I'm saying. Don't take everything I say as gospel. There are certain types of publications that you do need to pay VAT on, but for the most part you don't pay VAT on books, which means that all my book sales, I don't have to pay VAT on it, regardless of how big my sales are. If you're at 86 grand turnover though, you still need to be registered, but ignore that bit for now. But with the books, I don't pay VAT to the VAT man when I sell books, but I do pay VAT when I pay for postage, when I pay my eBay fees and all of these other miscellaneous expenses. And being registered for VAT means that once a quarter I can submit my return, and anything that I've sold where it did qualify for VAT, then I owe that to the VAT man, but they owe me back all the VAT that I have spent in that same period. And it's usually ends up that they owe me a wee bit of money rather than the other way around. So I do have other incomes that come into the business that are VAT eligible, and I pay my VAT on them, but for the most part the amount I'm spending on postage and eBay fees means that just now it's working in my favour, so that I'm actually not having to pay any VAT every quarter because of the rebate coming back in. So that's a secondary benefit. If you're planning on doing £50,000 worth of sales every year, then you don't need to bother. But if you're making £50,000 worth of sales, you're maybe going to make £15,000-20,000 profit if you're good at what you're doing, possibly more. So that can be perfectly ample That's a fantastic wee side hustle amount of money. You know, that was to pay for a car and a holiday and the mortgage. Then whatever you're doing for a living is a bonus on top of that. But that was the wee VAT question. So I'm not going to go into the how to, why to, etc. But for me, that's why I got registered for VAT right at the outset when I set up the business I'm currently running, because £86,000 a year turnover was not going to be enough to make me enough money to live on, let's be honest. Anyway, last thing, we shout out Zen. Thank you so much. So Zen had been in touch saying he had a couple of John Connolly books signed. I thought, oh, that's fantastic, excellent. He told me what they were, and one of them I didn't have. I didn't have a copy of The Wolf in Winter signed. Now I do. There we go, John Connolly's little scribble in there. So Zen, thank you so much. Nice wee handwritten note. The post lady, post person, I don't know what you call a postman when it's a woman, we'll go with post person, had a smirk on their face when they came to my door the other day, so cheers for that, because it was just Rancid Gonzo and my address on the front. So fair enough, that's what my name was on YouTube. But she was obviously wondering who Mr. Gonzo was. And it was me. So, to Rancid Gonzo, you're brutal for replying to messages. You're brutal for replying to messages. I know, it's shocking. I don't like replying to messages on eBay because I'm worried eBay are going to think I'm up to something and try to do deals. Been filled with enthusiasm and direction for watching your vids. Keep it going, man. Thank you so much. Really, really, really appreciate it. He also threw in a wee bundle of kind of vintage paperbacks as well. I've not even had a chance to look at these yet, so I'll see what these are all about and see what we can do with them. But that's a cracker on the shelf, adding to the collection. So that's me got, I think I've got 4 signed John Connollys now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9? Yeah, 9 hardcovers out of about 20 books. Not added much to anything else. I have got my signed Terry Pratchett on the shelf, signed copy, but I've put it up on auction as well. It's just, oh, it's a beautiful thing. I've priced it high. If it doesn't sell, I'm keeping it. It'll just sit there, so it's going to have to be a lot of money to make it worthwhile. I've got a signed Ian Banks as well, Wit, which I've got the same. I've had it listed for ages. It's priced really high. If somebody wants to pay me enough money, then they can have it, but it's going to have to be the right amount of money and more than what other people are asking for. So I'm being perfectly honest with that one. So yeah, that's brilliant. Terry Pratchett's getting moving. Managed to add a couple to that. Robert Harris, haven't found any of them lately, and I've slowly stacking up Stephen King's in the middle there. One other set I did find, Connie Golden. Connie Golden, quite enjoy Connie Golden, but his first series, Julius Caesar, that was brilliant. Really loved that. It's kind of what got me reading historical fiction. You know, blazed into that stuff once I got that going there. So I picked up 2 of that series in hardcover the other day. Realised I had another one on the shelf, so took that out of the listings. So I'm just looking for the first one in that series as well. So that's another one for me to keep my eyes open for when I'm out and about. We'll see what we can find. But I'm really liking this collecting books for myself again, instead of just having them all stacked somewhere else. It's like, okay, let's get to the ones that mean something to me. So that's what offers we've got at the moment. So we're hunting Terry Pratchett, very particular Connie Golden, Philip Pullman, John Connolly, Stephen King, and Robert Harris. That's what we'll chase down for now and see what else comes along as it comes along. Anyway, thanks again, Zen, and thank you to everybody else who watches, supports these videos, this channel. I don't like saying that because it makes me sound like a YouTuber. I don't want to be a YouTuber, I'm not like that. I just like coming on and talking mince about books, man, you know. But yeah, thanks everybody for your support. We're at like 1,200 subscriptions, which is crazy. So you haven't subscribed if you watched this far, then possibly mentally defective. But like, subscribe, leave us a comment, whatever else you want to do, and just keep those numbers going up and up and up into the stratosphere. Yeah, okay, that's all for now. So thanks again, see ya, love ya, bye.